Good morning, everyone. My name is Promise Joshua, and here's my tribute to my dad. As devastated as I was upon hearing about the news of my dad's passing, I can't say that I was completely unprepared for that day. Growing up as a biological daughter to a man like Prophet TB Joshua, my dad raised me to understand that he was on a mission in this world. For him, life on earth was spiritual warfare, not a place to get too comfortable like it was home. He essentially lived each day like it was his last, with most of his time spent at his prayer mountain, utterly focused on executing an assignment that only him seemed to be in the know of what the instructions were. Since I became more socially aware and more inquisitive about my dad's life, I realized that the implication of such a lifestyle was that once he was done accomplishing what he was sent for, he will be called back home to the one who sent him. I must say that my dad did an excellent job at preparing me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically for a moment like this. I remember the conversations we had, particularly last year, when I spent over a year with him at his prayer mountain, right before he eventually released me to pursue my master's. He said to me, "Before I release you, you have to spend nothing less than 6 months with me. Then you can go and do whatever you want to do." I ended up spending over a year with him. I saw him almost every day of that year. He'll tell me about how I needed to strengthen my relationship with God, carried me along at least 3 out of the countless times that he dedicated to prayer in a day. Most mornings, he would wake me up, would do our morning exercise routine, and we would have conversations about the most random topics. There was no aspect of my life that he didn't try to leave a positive footmark on in that year. By the time he was done with me and ready to release me back into the world, there was this sense of fulfillment that I observed in both of us. In retrospect, the memory of this moment is a place where I find solace now that he has passed on. I remember our trips to Arigidi Akoko, Ondo State. He made sure that I was present when he was visiting the old people in town. He would ask me to kneel with him as we kindly asked the elders to accept our gifts. They would pray for us. He would look at me and say, "This is the good life." I remember our trips from his new site to his old site. I would fall asleep in the car, and he would always make a point to wake me up to ensure that I was observing my environment, to see the reality of life for thousands of Nigerians. He'll tell me never to think that I was more deserving of the life that I had as a result of the grace of God in his life than the people that were on the street. For me, this was an important lesson that shaped my perspective and daily interactions. Lastly, Daddy, I want to say thank you for being such an exceptional role model. Your life is a living testimony of how God can raise a young boy from an underprivileged background with so much passion and zeal for God's work and use him in extraordinary ways. It is also a testimony of the extent to which one person's life can make such a massive positive impact in the world, with the thousands of lives that bear witness to the positive mark that you've made in their lives and in this world. I'm so proud to be your daughter, Daddy. Till we meet again in heaven, Dad. From Pom Pom, as he usually calls me, your twin.